Good evening. My name is Jeremy Perro, and I'll be giving you a class on business ethics and sustainability for Regis University's Capstone class MBAC 696. Resources for this class are in the show notes below. First thing that we must discuss are what are business ethics. Business ethics are making the correct decisions for the stakeholders, the community, and the company at large. As a manager, it is important to remember that while profits are obviously important to a business, the bottom line cannot be the only factor in making a decision. So being a good person when making decisions is of utmost importance. And then knowledge of general moral principles is not sufficient for sound decision making. We need to know what to do in each particular situation. So having a knowledge base is important as it provides guidelines for making decisions, but it's important to remember as a leader, rehearsing different scenarios with your peers and yourself are important, as most situations in life are not black and white. Making sound decisions based on one's morals will ensure the most ethical choice is made. Now, what exactly is a sustainable business? Any business for that matter, is part of a system. A sustainable business takes a system into account when making their decisions and makes the best decisions for the entire system. Now, what I mean by system, take for example, a manufacturing company. When they make a decision, it affects everybody, from the raw material suppliers to distributors and then to customers and businesses further down the line. Making changes creates waste as the supply chain adjusts itself to the new requirements. It is important to consider all ramifications of the changes, and decisions such as recycling programs and waste reduction improvements will reduce demand on the entire supply chain. Now, why are these important? It's because making good decisions affects all stakeholders, and making bad decisions also affects stakeholders. Sustainable business practices can be good for businesses from the bottom line up. Sustainable businesses increase efficiencies and reduce waste. Both of these reduce the cost of goods sold, which increase both profit and revenue. And risk is also managed through good ethical and sustainable business practices. As when a management makes good ethical decisions, it significantly reduces the chances that a decision will be made that will be viewed as inappropriate or illegal. And then for supply, the risk is reduced by ensuring efficient tracking systems for inventory are in place and reduces waste. Now we're going to look at a couple companies that have good business practices. The first one being Patagonia. Patagonia and several other companies have pledged to donate 1% for the planet. So they will donate 1% of all sales to environmental improvements for the planet. Now Salesforce has donated millions of dollars to education and technology grants, and they also have incentives for employees to be very active in community service. In addition to this, they also donate their product for free or at extreme discounts to education institutions and nonprofits. And finally, Google Don't Be Evil. Now, Google has Google Green, where they've spent over $1 billion on renewable energy products and have become carbon neutral because of this. Now, while having good role models is important, it's also important to know what the bad side is. For instance, Enron. Enron failed to properly report financials and debt in the 1990s. Shareholders lost about $75 billion and bankrupted the company, causing 20,000 employees to lose over $2 billion from their pensions because of it. Also, Sears Roebuck in the 1990s gave mechanics sales goals of $147 an hour. The intention behind this was to want mechanics to work faster to increase sales. What happened though is mechanics took the easy way out and created fake problems for vehicles to charge customers for repairs that never occurred to then meet the required sales goal. And then finally Ford with the Pinto in the 1970s. Engineers knew and discovered the problem with the gas tank late in the vehicle's original life cycle, or early in the life cycle, I should say, but right before manufacturing. So it would have been very expensive to retool the machines and redesign the equipment. So management decided through a cost-benefit analysis that it would be cheaper simply to settle lawsuits and recalls than to redesign the vehicle. Now these show that having only profit in mind can lead down the road of unethical business decisions. Now, having discussed that, what are your questions? There's a good one. How do leaders teach ethics in both the classroom and the business? Now, this is done through scenario-based training. As individuals, morals and ethics are learned as they grow up. So everyone is unique and slightly different. So it's important for an organization to teach its employees how they want them to act. The military does this through mandatory annual training designed to teach individuals how to act when they are placed in a situation that will cause a breach of ethics. This provides people with a baseline of education so they can refer back to it when they encounter a situation they've never seen before. Now that concludes today's class. Thank you for tuning in and watching.